Hello, Goddess. So happy that I get to do this Astro Toe reading for you today. And just a couple of points that I want to do for education on this. And thank you for letting me know about this right foot and that this was the foot that was severely crushed and injured in your accident. And just reading that energetically, so much healing has happened, and it's like that accident just kind of broke things open, and so much healing is happening. And I think through this toe reading we're going to find even more healing that can happen. So your left foot is your internal self, all things internal, the way you talk to yourself, the way you take action for yourself. This is your left foot, and your right foot is the outside, is that what's external, the way that people experience you and the way that you move through this world. Your big toes are left foot is the spirit path, right foot is the life path, and then the other toes have the same energy. It's just as inward or externally directed. So we have communication and expression. That's the second toe. Third toe is action. Fourth toe is relationship. And fifth toe is trust and prosperity. So one of the first things that I noticed when I looked at your toes are these very straight, very forward-facing action toes. And you are absolutely an action taker. And this shows up so strongly in your chart just because you've got a lot of this, you've got the fire and the earth energy. So you're going to move forward, and your Mars is here right next to your midheaven line and very close to Mercury. And this is just about taking that directed action. You're going to move forward. And then when you've got, this Sagittarius rising, and then this pocket of Aries energy down here, like you are an action taker. So just confirming that these toes, lots of action. Now you do have some blocked energy happening in this toe right here, a little bit in this toe also, but I'm seeing more blocked energy in your right foot. But just a little exercise would be to massage these toes a little bit so that they are just releasing that energy. I feel like this isn't necessarily energy where you need to get to, like, it doesn't need to be seen in a specific way. It just needs to be acknowledged and then aided in its release. And so just gently massaging those toes a little bit with the intention of releasing that blocked energy. And there could be a variety of reasons for this, including where you are in your life. Like you're doing a lot of things in your life, which you're happy to do. It feels good to do it. It's nurturing to do these things. It's a space of duty. And, with that Virgo, there's a sense of duty there. With Saturn in your first house, now going over here, there's a sense of duty as part of who you are. And sometimes there's things that you really want to do that you're not able to do right now. So just releasing that energy that there might be of feeling stuck, or maybe even a little bit of resentment, and just releasing that so that those energy channels are clear so you can take action with more alignment and more regeneration and energizing energy rather than depleting energy in those things. And so that when your circumstances change, you are ready to just take off in that directed action. So asking your subconscious mind to just put on the shelf, but it's not collecting dust. It's just, I'm going to use a different analogy. It's like putting cookies in an oven to bake. And in this particular scenario, we're not sure how long they need to bake, but you're going to know when they're done. So these ideas, these ways you want to take action, just making that into a nice, beautiful cookie, sticking it in the oven, and trusting that it's baking so that when it's done, you can just take off and enjoy this energy. Okay. And interestingly, feeling some energy on that one, right side of my throat. So let's talk about your communication and expression toes. So with these toes, what I'm seeing here is there's a little bit of a looking to the past. You can see how the nails are pointed towards the center line, which is past looking. It's looking at events, situations, environments, and experiences from the past where you felt like you were more able to express and communicate. So just explore in your mind, what are you looking to the past for? And journaling about those times when you felt the most free, the most able to express and communicate. And ask these toes as you're doing a little bit of a rubbing motion. So just taking your fingers, like I'm doing this with so if my toe was right here, and just gently moving the nail, not moving the nail, but rubbing across the nail, inviting the energy to track in a more straight and aligned way, and asking, what are some of the specific experiences that these toes are looking back on? And when I say these toes, clearly it's your subconscious mind, and it's showing up in these toes. What are these experiences from the past? So that you can draw from that. I'm having some really interesting energetic releases as I'm doing this for you. A lot of times it shows up as like a yawn or like a cough or a throat clearing. And for you, it's actually showing up as a tickling in the throat, and just a little bit going on up here in the sinus area. So just a little bit of a tickling up here and in my throat, on the right side of my throat. So this does have to do with the external world. So just looking at those past experiences. And again, this is another thing, just like the action toes, where you can put this on the shelf of your mind or in the oven to bake the cookies, knowing that you can do this. But there's some things that you can do right now to get aligned with that. And that's identifying what you're looking to in the past and how you can apply that to what you want to do in the present and in the future. Especially internally, there is some significant blocked energy in here. And this is energy that some of it wants to be seen. So massaging this toe and asking, what am I not communicating and expressing? And maybe you know what it is. So writing that down. And this is all about the intention. And it's not about changing our toes. Obviously, it's about seeing the energy track in a different way. The toes are just indicating things. It doesn't matter what the toes look like. It matters what the toes are communicating. And so you'll know when those second toenails start to move more to the center, that you're getting more present and that has been released. And I really recommend taking another picture in about 4 weeks and just seeing where these toes are at. You will see a difference. And another thing to look for would be to release some energy, some blocked energy that's in this toe. And there's a little bit in this, and this is actually farther back. In fact, I think that there's some energy that's stuck in this toe, maybe even from the accident. So that's what it is. That's what it is. There's some additional layers to be peeled back here. And that's going to happen for you in this toe. All right, let's talk about your big toes, your great toes, your spirit path, and your life path. Let's first of all talk about your spirit path. So this nail is straightforward. It's pointing forward. You've got a little bit of callousing on this side. The toe is really looking to the future. So I think it's interesting that you've got your communication expression toe looking to the big toe or looking to the past, and you've got your big toe looking towards the second toe or looking to the future. And what that's doing is this is your channel of intuition. And what these two toes coming together like this is it's slightly blocking your channel of intuition. So if you were to stabilize right here on this side of your toe, and then gently push this way, it's going to help align that. And again, you're just inviting the energy to move in a different way. I am just experiencing the most interesting um, energetic stuff, and it's all happening on this right side. Like I'm feeling it up in here and down in here. Go ahead and feel into that. You are such an intuitive person, but it's on the masculine side, on the yang side. And this is your energy that I'm experiencing right now. So leaning into that just a little bit. What is it? Even my right nostril being a little bit itchy. Fascinating. Lean into that. You're super intuitive, and by gently inviting this toe to move more straight, and by stabilizing here and pushing out here, you're going to be opening up this channel of intuition, because your toenail is right on. You're on your spirit path. We just want this toe to be tracking straight along with this the nail. Now, when we look at your right one, this is very much leaning, including the nail, looking to the future. And I know that life path and life purpose is one of the questions that you came to your astrology reading for. And we talked at length about what your astrology chart was saying. So I invite you to go back and listen to that. I think that when you gently massage this toe, and here's the thing, I had been doing toe reading for about 8 years, 7 or 8 years, before I started incorporating using manual techniques to help move the energy. And people got results just by recognizing the energy and seeing it and doing something about it. But what I found is after those 7 years, just comparing the first 7 years to, I guess, the last, I don't know how long, and it doesn't matter, but the results that people will get by moving the energy physically, it was a night and day difference. The energy moved more quickly, and people were able to peel back additional layers instead of being like one layer at a time in a more slow process. By using these manual techniques, it was like peeling back multiple layers. So it really, if you can, incorporate this into your daily practice. And so by inviting the energy to, using the same thing as on this foot, gently invite this toe to track more straight. And that's going to open up the channel of leadership right here. And I think that's going to be very, very, very good. And again, this is part of those cookies baking. All right, these cookies baking, and I'm really seeing, like, energetically, this is almost like, what I'm seeing is a volcano, but it's not an explosive volcano. It's not one where the pressure is all built and then it explodes. It's actually more of a flowing. And so when the cookies are done baking, when you're at a place in your life when you can more actively pursue your life purpose, generally, because part of your life purpose right now is exactly what you're doing, it's going to start to flow like lava out of the top of that mountain. So not an explosion, but just flow, because it's ready. It's like everything is building up, building up, building up, and then it's going to flow out. And that's what I'm setting the intention for, is that when the time is right, this is just going to flow, because you will have put the ingredients in, and the cookies will be done baking. Okay, so just gently inviting that toe to track more straight and opening up this channel of leadership. When we talk about leadership, this organized offering and the way that you're going to lead. I mean, with Jupiter, Mercury, and Venus all here in your house of leadership, your 10th house, like, you're meant to be a leader, and the way that you take action, and you're like, you have the chart of a leader. So opening up this channel of leadership is going to be very, very beneficial for you. Your relationship toes. Let's talk about these relationship toes. You're very much an action taker in the way that you that you are in your relationships. There's a little bit of blocked energy in these toes. So and you can see the contrast here in the photo. So in your right foot, you've got more blocked energy in relationships. So this is relationships with others earlier on in your life, and then you've done some releasing here in this second part of your life. So massaging down here and just releasing old energy having to do with relationships that are in the earlier part of your life. And then if we look at this toe, there's a little bit more blocked energy here in the upper part, or the more recent past and kind of the midpoint, because time tracks in the toes. The farther down the toe, the closer to the foot, the farther back it is, even into generational and past life. And the farther out, including the nail, is the more recent. And so if we look here at the difference in the shape between these toes, you'll see that there's a little bit more blocked energy here. What I like is you've got a nice nail bed on these toes, and the toes are relatively, the toenails are relatively straight. So just some gentle releasing. We've all got relationship baggage that we're carrying around. And something that could be said for everything going on here on the right foot as well. That foot was crushed in an accident. And so that's changed things, and you're 100% right. But what I've seen over and over and over the last 2 decades of reading toes is that in our soul contracts, you knew that you were going to meet a toe reader. And so this is communicating to you what's happened in your life has come up, and now we can read and release this energy. I've had, dancers come and say, well, it's because I wore toe shoes that my toes are this way. And the answer is yes, but not everyone who's in that profession has that. Your foot is speaking to you. Your toes are speaking to you. And just really showing some extra love to your feet and your toes, it's going to be very, very beneficial for you. I have this sparkly, sparky kind of energy going on in my body right now. It's your energy, and I do know that you are indeed a firecracker. Just gentle working with these toes to release that energy. And I don't think it's things that you necessarily need to dig into the what and the why and the how and all the specifics. It just wants to be released. And remember that as you release, you're going forward generations and back generations, and it's a beautiful healing. Your baby toes. Okay, so we've got the pinky toes, which are trust and prosperity toes. And both of them are looking to the future. They are slightly twisted and looking to the future. So identify for you, what does prosperity look like to you? What are the components of prosperity? Because as you know, there's health, there's relationships, there's opportunities, there's money, there's all these aspects that can be how we experience prosperity. So writing that out so that you know what it is. And I know that you indeed have a program and have done a lot of work around prosperity. And so this is probably something that you've already done. And it's a good idea to just relook at it, because these things can kind of shift. And so I would gently just twist that toe so it's not looking to the future so much. And again, just gently inviting the energy to move more straight and to be more present and more grounded. And this is your trust toe. All right. So trust and prosperity. The right trends a little bit more towards prosperity, and the left trends a little bit more towards trust, although those are both very closely intertwined. So trusting, really looking at who you trust, why you trust them. Do the people that you trust deserve your trust? Are they worthy of your trust? And are there people that maybe you are distrustful of that can be trusted? Or are there people that you do trust that maybe need to move into a different sphere of your relationships of trust? And with your intuition, and by talking to this toe, really discovering who are the people that you can trust. And I think that would be a really powerful exercise for you to do You're so loved, you're so looked after, and you're so incredibly strong. And knowing who your people are that you can lean on when you need to, that you can trust to support you, I feel would be really soul fulfilling for you. And is there anything else? I feel like that is what your toes want to share with us at this time. And I would really love to see another photo of your toes in about 4 weeks to see how this has shifted and changed. Thank you so much for this opportunity.